Why do you wake up? That's the question staring at you from the thumbnail, isn't it? It's provocative because it cuts straight to the heart of what so many of us avoid thinking about. Day after day, we wake up, rush through routines, tick off endless to-do lists, and collapse into bed at night wondering, what's the point of it all? Here's the hard truth. Too many people are alive but not truly living. The grind feels meaningless, and the spark that makes life worth it seems out of reach. But what if it didn't have to be this way? What if you could wake up every morning with clarity, energy, and excitement, knowing exactly why you're getting out of bed? That's where the Japanese concept of Ikigai comes in, a philosophy that holds the key to uncovering your purpose and aligning it with your daily life. In this video, we're not just going to talk about Ikigai. We're going to explore actionable ways to find yours and start living it right now. By the time you finish this journey, you'll have a roadmap for aligning your passions, skills, and values with the life you've always wanted. But before we dive in, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more content like this. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Discover your reason to wake up. Have you ever wondered what gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it the shrill sound of an alarm clock or the excitement of something meaningful waiting for you? Here's the thing. Most people drift through their days without a clear sense of why. They shuffle from task to task, chasing deadlines, bills, or just the next thing on their to-do list. But what if you could pinpoint a reason, a deep personal reason that makes waking up feel exciting? That's where the concept of discovering your Ikigai, your reason to wake up, comes in. Imagine this. A friend of mine, Sarah, was stuck in a dead-end job. She woke up every day dreading the monotony, wondering, is this all there is? One weekend, she decided to take a walk through her local park, something she hadn't done in years. She stumbled across a group of artists painting landscapes. Something clicked. She remembered how much she loved painting as a child, but had abandoned it for the so-called practicalities of life. That day, Sarah started sketching again, just 15 minutes before bed each night. It didn't change her job, but it changed her mornings. She started waking up with purpose, eager to create something new. Now, you don't have to be an artist like Sarah. Maybe your Ikigai is helping others, designing innovative solutions, or even being the rock your family relies on. The key is to tune into what sparks joy, curiosity, or fulfillment in your life. Start small. Journal about the moments that make you lose track of time, the compliments you receive most, or the problems you can't stop thinking about solving. You'll begin to see patterns, tiny breadcrumbs leading to your unique Ikigai. Here's a tip: don't overthink it. Your Ikigai doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as cooking a meal that makes someone smile or writing a story that only you will read. What matters is that it gives your mornings a spark, a reason to get up and face the day. So, why do you wake up? Hold on to that thought, because in the next step, we'll dive into how aligning what you love with what the world needs can transform your life. Lesson 2. Align passion, mission, vocation, and profession. Let's talk about alignment. No, not the kind your car needs after hitting a pothole, but the alignment of your life. Imagine if the things you love, the things you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can actually get paid for all fit together like pieces of a puzzle. That's the sweet spot of Ikigai, and once you find it, everything feels, well, right? But here's the catch. Most people live in only one or two of these quadrants. Think about it. Maybe you have a passion for writing poetry, but it doesn't pay the bills. Or you have a high-paying job, but it leaves you drained, wondering if you're truly making a difference. What Ikigai teaches us is that the magic happens when you stop settling for the partial picture and start working toward the full alignment. Take James, for example. He had a knack for numbers and loved solving puzzles, which naturally led him into accounting. But crunching numbers for big corporations left him feeling hollow. He realized his true passion was teaching others how to manage their finances, a skill the world desperately needs. So he started offering workshops at his local community center on weekends. Over time, he built a reputation and transitioned into financial coaching full-time. James didn't just find a job, he found his purpose. You can do the same. Start by mapping out these 4 areas in your life. 1. Passion. What do you love doing? 2. Mission. What does the world need that you care about? 3. Vocation. What can you get paid for? 4. Profession. What are you good at? Grab a notebook or even a napkin and start brainstorming. Write freely, connect ideas, and notice where these areas overlap. Maybe you're a graphic designer with a passion for sustainability. What if you focused on creating eco-friendly branding for businesses? Or you're a teacher who loves baking. Why not start a side hustle teaching online baking classes? The goal isn't to figure it all out in one sitting. Alignment is a process, not a destination. But the closer you get to syncing these 4 aspects, the more fulfilled you'll feel. And that's the kind of alignment worth chasing. Now here's the kicker. Even when you know your Ikigai, you'll face challenges along the way. That's why the next step is about starting small, taking tiny but powerful actions to move closer to your purpose. Lesson 3. Start small, the Kaizen approach to Ikigai. Let's face it, big changes can be intimidating. You decide to transform your life, and suddenly the mountain looks too high to climb. That's where the Kaizen approach comes in. It's the art of starting small, taking tiny, deliberate steps toward big goals. And when it comes to finding your Ikigai, this approach isn't just helpful, it's essential. Think about it, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a purposeful life. Take Lily, for example. She felt stuck in a job she didn't love but had no idea where to start. Instead of quitting on a whim and hoping for the best, she decided to try the Kaizen method. She began dedicating just 10 minutes a day to exploring her interests. One day it was writing, the next it was researching nonprofit work. Over time, those 10 minutes turned into a clear direction. Within a year, she transitioned into a role at an organization she felt passionate about, all because she started small. So how can you apply Kaizen to your Ikigai? Start with micro actions. If you love music but haven't played in years, spend 5 minutes strumming a guitar or singing a favorite song. If your passion is fitness, don't sign up for a marathon tomorrow. Start with a 10-minute walk around the block. The key is consistency, not perfection. Here's a practical exercise. 1. Identify one thing you wish you could explore or improve. 2. Set a timer for 5 minutes and commit to working on it daily. 3. Gradually increase your effort as it becomes a habit. Over time, these small actions compound, creating a ripple effect in your life. You'll find yourself naturally gravitating toward your Ikigai. And the best part? You won't even notice the hard work. It'll just feel like living. But here's the thing, starting small is just the beginning. To truly live your Ikigai, you have to make room for it. And that means learning how to prioritize what truly matters. Let's dive into that next. Lesson 4. Prioritize what truly matters. Life is noisy. Between work deadlines, endless notifications, and everyone wanting a piece of your time, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't make room for the things that matter most, your Ikigai will always feel out of reach. Take Jake, for instance. He had a decent job, a busy social life, and hobbies he loved. But he was stretched so thin that everything felt like a chore. One evening, after yet another day of juggling too much, he sat down and made a list. He wrote down everything he spent time on and ranked them by importance. To his surprise, many of the things he poured his energy into didn't even make the top 5. That was his wake-up call. He began saying no to unnecessary commitments and yes to what aligned with his values. The change wasn't instant, but it was life-changing. So, how do you decide what truly matters? Start by asking yourself 3 questions. 1. Does this bring me joy or fulfillment? 2. Does this align with my long-term goals? 3. Does this make a meaningful impact on my life or others' lives? For instance, if you're constantly stuck at your desk but dream of spending more time with your family, it's time to reassess. Maybe that extra work project can wait so you can make dinner with your kids or share a story at bedtime. If your calendar is crammed with social obligations, try asking yourself, am I going because I want to or because I feel I have to? Here's a practical step to get started. 1. Write down all your current commitments. 2. Categorize them into 3 columns: essential, meaningful, and distractions. 3. Start trimming the distractions and spend that time on the essentials and meaningful activities. Remember, prioritizing isn't about being selfish. It's about being intentional. When you make space for what matters, you're not just living, you're thriving. But even when your priorities are clear, there's another layer to uncover: how to find flow in your daily life so those priorities feel effortless and natural. That's up next. Lesson 5. Flow with your Ikigai. Have you ever been so immersed in something that hours felt like minutes? That state, where time slips away and everything clicks, is called flow. It's where productivity meets joy, and it's a cornerstone of living your Ikigai. When you're in flow, even the hardest tasks feel effortless because you're fully present and engaged in what you're doing. Let's take Emma, for example. She's a photographer who used to struggle with the daily grind of editing and marketing her work. But when she started organizing her day around her Ikigai, the moments where her passion for capturing stories met her skill with a camera, things changed. Instead of forcing herself to follow rigid schedules, she identified her peak creative hours and leaned into them. By working when she felt most energized, she found herself in flow more often, making her work not just productive, but deeply satisfying. So, how do you cultivate flow in your life? Here's the secret. It's not about working harder, but working smarter, aligning your tasks with your natural rhythms and passions. Try these steps. 1. Identify your peak energy times. Are you sharpest in the morning, afternoon, or evening? Schedule your most meaningful work during those hours. 2. Minimize distractions. Turn off notifications, clear your workspace, and create an environment that fosters focus. 3. Choose challenges that match your skill level. Flow happens when a task is challenging enough to engage you, but not so hard that it frustrates you. For example, if you're learning a new skill, break it into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by mastering it all at once, enjoy the process of getting better little by little. Whether it's writing, cooking, or even coding, flow thrives on that balance of effort and reward. And here's something beautiful. When you experience flow regularly, your priorities and purpose naturally align. You stop feeling like you're pushing through life and start feeling like you're moving with it. But flow isn't just about you, it's also about the people around you. Up next, we'll explore how connecting with others can amplify your Ikigai in ways you never imagined. Lesson 6. Connect with community. Humans aren't meant to walk through life alone. At the heart of Ikigai lies a deep connection to others, a sense of belonging that fuels purpose and joy. Your Ikigai isn't just about what you do. It's about how it impacts those around you. And here's the kicker. The more you connect with your community, the more your purpose will grow. Take Mia, for example. She loved baking and often experimented with recipes at home. It started as a personal hobby, but one day she decided to share her creations at a local fundraiser. The response was overwhelming. People not only loved her baked goods, but connected with the care she poured into them. Encouraged, Mia began hosting small baking workshops at her community center, teaching others the joy of creating something with their own hands. What was once a solitary activity became a powerful way to bond with her neighbors. So, how do you build a community around your Ikigai? Start by asking yourself these questions. 1. Who benefits from what I love to do? 2. How can I share my passion in a way that serves others? 3. Where can I find people with similar values or interests? For instance, if you're a writer, consider joining a local writing group or hosting a free storytelling workshop. If your passion is gardening, you could volunteer at a community garden or teach others how to grow their own vegetables. These connections not only make your Ikigai more meaningful, but also create a ripple effect of purpose and positivity. And here's the best part. When you connect with others, you're not just giving, you're also receiving. Community offers support, inspiration, and a reminder that you're part of something bigger than yourself. But even as you deepen these connections, it's important to balance them with sustainability, both for yourself and the world around you. Let's explore how to do that next. Lesson 7. Balance sustainability and growth. Living your Ikigai isn't about burning yourself out in pursuit of purpose. It's about finding harmony between growth and sustainability, both for yourself and the world around you. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't force plants to grow faster by overwatering them, and you can't deplete the soil and expect it to keep producing. Balance is key. Consider Ryan's story. He loved helping others and poured himself into volunteering every weekend. At first, it felt rewarding, but soon he was stretched thin, mentally, emotionally, and even financially. He realized that for his efforts to be sustainable, he had to set boundaries. Ryan started saying no to some commitments and focusing his energy on a single cause he was most passionate about. By doing so, he not only preserved his well-being, but also made a greater impact in the long run. So, how do you balance sustainability and growth in your pursuit of Ikigai? Here are a few strategies. 1. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to what drains you, so you can say yes to what truly matters. 2. Pace yourself. Growth doesn't have to be a sprint. Set realistic goals and celebrate small milestones. 3. Respect resources. Whether it's your time, energy, or the planet's resources, use them wisely and consciously. For example, if your passion involves creating something, whether it's art, music, or a business, ask yourself, am I working sustainably? Am I taking care of myself along the way? If you're passionate about environmental causes, think about ways to incorporate sustainability into your daily life, like reducing waste or supporting local businesses. The beauty of balancing sustainability and growth is that it keeps your Ikigai alive and thriving, not just for today, but for years to come. But there's one more lesson to embrace, one that will help you navigate imperfections and embrace life's natural rhythms. Let's dig into that next. Lesson 8. Embrace your imperfection. Perfection is a myth, and chasing it can be one of the biggest barriers to living your Ikigai. Life isn't about getting everything right. It's about showing up, imperfections and all, and finding beauty in the mess. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi, embracing the imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete, aligns perfectly with this idea. It teaches us that cracks aren't flaws. They're where the light gets in. Let me tell you about Claire. She had a passion for pottery, but refused to share her creations because they weren't good enough. One day, she learned about kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, kintsugi highlights them, making the object even more beautiful. Inspired, Claire stopped striving for perfection and began celebrating the uniqueness of her work. As she put it, the imperfections tell a story, and that's what makes them perfect. How can you embrace your imperfections and let them fuel your Ikigai? Start by shifting your perspective. 1. Acknowledge your flaws. They're part of your journey and often where your greatest strengths lie. 2. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Focus on how far you've come, not how far you have to go. 3. Turn mistakes into opportunities. Each misstep is a chance to learn, grow, and add character to your story. For example, if you're hesitant to start something because it won't be perfect, whether it's writing a book, launching a business, or even trying a new hobby, remember this: the world doesn't need perfect. It needs authentic. The little imperfections in your work, your relationships, and your life are what make them uniquely yours. Here's the magic. When you let go of the need to be flawless, you free yourself to live fully. And that's when your Ikigai truly shines. But living your Ikigai isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's also about longevity, vitality, and staying connected to life's energy. Let's explore that next. Lesson 9. Ikigai and Longevity. Did you know that the people of Okinawa, Japan, have some of the longest lifespans in the world? Their secret isn't just in their diet or lifestyle. It's deeply rooted in their Ikigai. Having a sense of purpose doesn't just make life meaningful. It literally makes life longer. When you wake up every day with something to live for, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Let me introduce you to Hiroshi, an 89-year-old fisherman from Okinawa. Every morning, before the sun rises, he takes his boat out to sea. For Hiroshi, fishing isn't just a job. It's his Ikigai. It keeps his mind sharp, his body active, and his spirit alive. But it's not just about catching fish. Hiroshi loves teaching younger fishermen the craft and sharing stories about his adventures on the sea. His purpose connects him to his community and gives him a reason to keep going. The science backs this up. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose are less likely to suffer from chronic illnesses and more likely to recover from setbacks. Purpose reduces stress, boosts mental clarity, and even strengthens your immune system. So, finding your Ikigai isn't just a feel-good concept, it's a life-extending one. Here's how you can apply this wisdom to your life. 1. Stay active. Choose an activity that engages both your body and mind, like gardening, walking, or even learning a new skill. 2. Stay connected. Build relationships with people who energize and inspire you. Purpose often grows in the soil of connection. 3. Stay curious. Keep exploring new interests, no matter your age. Purpose doesn't have an expiration date. For instance, if you love storytelling, consider volunteering at a local school or library to share your experiences with younger generations. If your passion lies in nature, start a small environmental project in your community. These small acts keep your mind engaged and your heart full. Longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And when you live with Ikigai, every moment feels richer, fuller, and more connected. But discovering your Ikigai is only half the journey. What you do with it, how you start taking action today, is where the real transformation begins. Let's dive into that next. Lesson 10. Take action today. Knowing your Ikigai is one thing, living it is another. It's easy to get stuck in the cycle of someday thinking, someday I'll follow my passion. Someday I'll make time for what matters. But here's the hard truth. Someday never comes unless you take action today. Your Ikigai isn't just a concept to think about. It's a way of life to embrace, starting right now. Think about Mia, a teacher who always dreamed of writing children's books. For years, she told herself she didn't have the time, the skills, or the confidence to begin. Then one evening, she decided to start small, just 15 minutes a day after work. She sketched out ideas, wrote short stories, and learned about self-publishing. Within a year, she had her first book printed. Today, Mia doesn't just teach kids, she inspires them through her stories. So, how can you take the first step toward living your Ikigai today? Start with these simple but powerful actions. 1. Set a micro goal or choose one thing you can do today that aligns with your purpose, even if it's just a 5-minute task. 2. Break the inertia. Often, starting is the hardest part. Take the first step, no matter how small, and let momentum build. 3. Create accountability. Share your goal with someone who will encourage you or join a community that supports your passion. For example, if your Ikigai involves creating, block out a specific time each day to focus solely on your craft. If it's about helping others, find a local organization where you can volunteer, even for just an hour a week. The important thing isn't how big your actions are, it's that you're moving forward. And here's the secret: once you start, the path becomes clearer. Every action, no matter how small, reinforces your commitment to living with purpose. The excuses start to fade, replaced by the satisfaction of progress. But here's the real question: what's stopping you? Whatever it is, now is the time to push past it. Because living your Ikigai isn't just about finding purpose, it's about creating a life that feels truly alive. Now that you've taken the first step, it's time to bring everything together. Let's look at how all these lessons intertwine to build a life filled with meaning, joy, and connection. Now that you've uncovered the steps to find and live your Ikigai, it's time to ask yourself, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it sit in the back of your mind, collecting dust like so many other great ideas? Or will you take that first, bold step toward living with purpose? The choice is yours, and trust me, it's a choice worth making. Think about it. What's stopping you from aligning your passions, skills, and values with the life you're meant to live? Maybe it's fear, doubt, or just the comfort of sticking to what you know. But here's the thing: your Ikigai isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to take action. Start small, but start today. Write down your passions. Explore what the world needs that you can uniquely offer. Share your journey with others who can encourage and inspire you. Remember, your Ikigai isn't just about finding happiness, it's about creating it one step at a time. If this resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. What part of today's video inspired you most? How will you take that first step? Let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear your journey. And if you're ready to dive even deeper, check out the book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, available on Amazon. It's packed with wisdom and practical insights, and you'll find the link in the first pinned comment. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If you're hungry for more insights and life-changing wisdom, click on the card for the next video. It's one you don't want to miss. Until next time, keep chasing purpose and living fully. See you soon.